Okay, welcome after the lunch break to this presentation that we will be giving, both of us focusing on the way we have been using virtual reality in our courses, to organize a virtual exchange project. Begoña is from University of Valencia, I am from the University of Utrecht, so our students have been using this VR, low immersion and high immersion VR facilities in order to exchange information and to undertake all kinds of activities. So these are the initial results of this experience. So we are really very excited to be able to share this one with you. So we will be talking about the opportunities that VR offers us to enrich virtual exchange projects and language learning in particular. So we will talk about the context, the tasks we have been using. We will show you some interaction examples so that you can grasp the idea behind that and the initial results. Okay, so opportunities for language learning. Yeah, that's one of the key issues and one of the key concerns. When we teach languages, we miss context, we miss scenarios. Yeah, our students are normally interacting in a vacuum, but language and communication is always situated in a given place, in a given setting, okay? And that's what VR is offering us. Yeah, so immersive experiences to engage in these kinds of communication activities. Well, it is a safe environment, a game-like environment. It helps to lower anxiety. And we know when our learners have a A2, B1 level, they feel anxious when they need to communicate, right? So they adopt the form of an avatar, and it facilitates this communication. Well, we can organize authentic communication, simulations, and role plays because we have all those different scenarios, okay? We can use it synchronously or asynchronously. We can ask our students to make a machinima, a kind of recording playing different roles. That could be a synchronous use, and synchronous use is what we are going to show you here, right here. Okay, the interesting thing about VR is that you just do not communicate. You do things together. Action is key. So you walk, you move around, you can take things, you can throw things, you can do all these kind of things we do in real life. Okay, we talk and we refer to it as embodied interaction, as an avatar is a prolongation of your own body. And we will see how the avatars are moving around and moving their heads and very nice things, okay? And a key term within VR is that of co-presence. We have seen some wonderful examples about kids communicating with one another using BBB, so with the webcams, and they see each other, but they realize that they are in different spots. When we use VR, they are present in the same space. And that's one of the added values of using VR for these kinds of exchanges. Yeah, and of course, if we include cultural artifacts within those scenarios, we will be working on that intercultural aspect. Yeah. So, yeah, low immersion, high immersion. Do you know the difference? Low immersion is when you are using your laptop or computer and then you get the virtual world in your screen. That's low immersion. So you are here and then you look into your screen and you see your avatar and the other avatars, okay? High immersion is when you use the headsets and then you are not looking into a screen. You are in the space. So when you move around, you are not here, you are in the virtual world. And you turn around and you undertake all kinds of things, yeah? So it's an additional dimension to communication. So we included this experience with our undergraduate students. In our case, in Utrecht, they were following Technology-Enhanced Language Teaching course. And in your case, they were following Second Language Acquisition course. Okay, and the objectives were to explore the opportunities that VR offers to enrich, in this case, virtual exchange experiences, and analyze these experiences while comparing high versus low immersion activities. Tasks. We have been listening to that the whole morning. Tasks are key. And what are engaging and meaningful tasks? We follow here TBLT, task-based language teaching. So our tasks should be focusing on the meaning, learner-centered, what is interesting for them. There should be an opinion and information gap. They should stimulate authentic communication. They should have a concrete end result. There are different typologies of tasks, and it seems that the most enriching types of tasks are those where students are cooperating in the creation of something together, okay? So that's where more negotiation meaning happens, and these kinds of very important aspects if we are looking into second language acquisition issues. If you are using VR, you should look at the affordances, at the opportunities VR offers you to enrich the communication and the interaction. Yeah, so you need to integrate it, as we have seen in the previous examples, in your curriculum. This is not an add-on, oh, let's do that for 5 minutes. No, yeah, it should be the core within the course you offer. And the integration, we do that by offering a tutorial to students so that they know how to manage the virtual world, the goggles, yeah, so that when they are going to communicate, they know what to do and how to do it. And of course, following TBLT principles, we prepare the students. There is a pre-task phase, then there is an interaction task phase when they are communicating with the peers, and there is a post-task phase when they had to do something with the information they have exchanged or with the artifact they have created, etc., etc., etc. In our case, we developed 5 different tasks. The first task was obviously getting to know each other. Classic. Yeah, classic one. So, and we use Microsoft Teams for that, because what we saw in previous experiences is that they needed to see the person they were talking to. They wanted to see their faces. Yeah, and if you use an avatar, you don't see the face. Although we will see this afternoon in the workshop, they could activate the webcam also in the virtual space, but okay. And then we have 4 tasks. They carried out with one another using VR. 2 of these 2 tasks were carried out in low immersion, so laptop computer, and 2 of them using the high immersion, so the goggles. And we wanted to see how students feel, how the interaction looks like, okay? So the second one is exploring from VR. They had to go to the Dutch and to the Spanish village and talk about what they see there, cultural artifacts that there are there, take pictures of what they think it is interesting, culturally speaking, and create at the end a Padlet with the pictures they had taken and the whole experience. Yeah. The third task was to talk about the student life and then create a virtual campus within FrameVR, because we have not got a campus there. We have different buildings, but okay, so it was also very relevant for FrameVR. The third one was created by our students in teams, in small groups. So a group chose for family and friends, the other one organized an international party, and the third group of students created food. And they tested these tasks with their peers in VR. Yeah, so the last one, music. This is such a nice topic. It doesn't matter, you know, so whether you are working with students at secondary schools or at university, everybody loves music, right? And has an opinion about that. So that was also one of the very nice experiences and tasks. And let's go to see some examples, okay? Focusing on the Exploring Frame VR task. the first example I'm going to show you, we are going to show you, is about low immersion, okay? So they are sitting behind the computer and they are communicating with one another. They are in the Netherlands, in Bubblegum, okay? And the Dutch student is taking the Valencian student around. And let's see what happens. It is a short video clip, okay? And look at the movements of the avatars, yeah? Look at that, okay?
Where do you want to go first?
I don't mind.
Should we just... Have you practiced with the Frame VR before?
Yeah, in class.
Okay. So you can move and...
I think yes.
Yeah, okay. Should we go to the tourist information station?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So, I guess you guys have also some like bureaus for tourist information in your country?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you're familiar with any of these pictures.
It's like the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam.
Yeah. It's in Amsterdam, and it's another museum than I don't know, you've been to Amsterdam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go there or did you go to the Rijksmuseum?
No. I saw it from the outside, but I don't enter it.
Oh, yeah.
Video clip. Do you see the difference? They are talking about, shall we go that way? Would you use that in a video conferencing setting? The artifacts that are in the tourist office, they saw those things and they start talking about each other. There is that movement. Oh, there you are. Yeah? Okay. So do you see the difference? What do you see in the avatar? Did you see some expressions, some movement? No? Okay, I agree with you. So take attention and pay attention to the next video clip, because the next video clip is when using the goggles, and have a look also at the avatars and the movements, etc. And that's the same task.
Oh,
no. This one.
We have a different term for it, but
Calvinist or something like that?
No. I think it is Protestant or what you said. But my grandparents are like really religious, so we call them like different name. But I don't think that there's a definition for that in it.
Looks like an old
Catholic
church. Do you want to go to another building?
Yeah, that's right.
Have you ever tried horchata?
Horchata, what was that again? It's like a
It's
famous...
like a drink made out of tufa. I don't know how to say it in English.
I think I haven't actually.
They also have it in Mexico.
And it's like typical for Valencia, right?
Yeah.
What does it taste like?
It's like very sweet.
Oh, I think I like it then.
Like if you get a bit back, you can see the symbol of Valencia on top of the building.
Where? On
Like-
the church or?
No, go behind you a little bit. Step backwards. Like where I am. Look up. that thing.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Like
It's
the
like
hat and everything.
a bat on top.
Just like the symbol of the city.
Oh, that's pretty.
So, do you see the difference? Yeah? This is situated communication. This is contextualized communication. Yeah, so you interact with the environment. It is not something that they have written down in the task specifications. It happens. As it happens when you are outside and you are with your friends communicating with things, then you see things and you say, oh, come backwards. Oh, it is up there. And you see it also here. So this is embodied interaction. And I'm going to stop here. And we will continue here with the results. Pero.
Okay. My part is a little bit more boring because I'm going to tell you about the results, but it is at the same time nice because we see what the students told us about the experience. And the data that we collected comes from the questionnaire, the post questionnaire that we gave the students in both countries, and also a series of focus group interviews that we recorded and that we obtained data from that. So as you can see, only one of the students in each of the countries didn't answer the questionnaire. So it's quite, relevant and that offers some, it's something reliable according to the results. So we gave them a series of statements we wanted for them to reflect on. And it is true that they liked both settings. They like, as Kristi said before, they like to see each other in the video conference. And I think that was a nice first step before they engaged in the series of tasks that they carried out in the other environment. And only one of the students had some previous experience with VR before the exchange, and he was one of the Dutch students. The rest didn't have any experience, but they really enjoyed it and they liked it, and it wasn't that hard after all for them. As you can see, I'm sorry I passed quite quickly from the other one, but all of the answers are very positive, okay? All of the answers are, but here, the only one that has, a rather negative answer is the one that says, I like to see myself through the webcam when communicating. So they want to see the other person, they want to know what the other person looks like, but they don't like to see themselves. So on Frame VR, they were okay because they couldn't see themselves. They could if they wanted to, but they didn't, okay? And communicating in VR using MetaQuest is fun. So the one that got the best results of all of the questions is the one that they answer using the goggles. Using the goggles on Frame VR was the one that they liked the best, which for us is very, very important. We asked them to comment on the experience and to write like an entry with some reflections. And as you can see, VR, MetaQuest, Frame VR, World, all of those were outstanding. Those were the words that everyone used. So we can tell that they were really engaged on this experience. Here is when we made them compare between low and high. So in each one of the questions that we asked them about different aspects, first you have the one on low immersion, the one on the laptop, and high immersion, the one inside the world, as we showed you before. We also call it 2D and 3D. 2D is low immersion, 3D is high immersion. And as you can see, when you compare the first two, the second, each pair of them, the results are always better when they are talking about high immersion. So they really enjoyed high immersion better. Okay. We had some, let's say, less good comments. I'm not going to say bad comments, but, not as good as we expected. When it came to the avatar, here, you can see that, between low and high immersion, there was not much difference. In all of the rest, they liked the high immersion better. But when it comes to this, they didn't like it that much, or there was not a big difference. And it is because of the type of avatars and because of the two settings. And because it's something that you have to take into account. You have to register to have your avatar and to change it. They thought that customizing their avatar was important for them. But the type of avatar that you get in 3D is not the same as the one you get in 2D. So I think that was the only one where they saw this difference. And, in the rest of them, and if you take a look at the big difference here, is when it comes to feeling absorbed, feeling immersed. That's the question that had the biggest difference in answer. So that's the one that they enjoyed the best. Okay, thank you. So these are actual words from our students, okay? It allowed me to interact better. Here we're talking about the difference between high and low. since you can customize your avatar, as we said before, you can create a version of yourself for the activity. I also found a way to upload 3D models. I didn't teach them to do that, but they learned how to do it. And it is a really interesting way of communicating. I'm not going to read all of them, but I highlighted in bold writing those things that I believe are important. So they highlighted the fact that there are lots of features that you can do that is really amazing. That the immersion, in the immersion experience, you don't have all of the other stimuli around you. That is something that attracted our attention a lot, because it was like, they say, and this is the normal real life, they are on the computer, they are, moving their avatar around, but then they get a WhatsApp message, or someone comes into the room, or their telephone buzzes, and they pay attention to that. However, when they put the goggles on, they can't see, they can't hear anything else. So even if they get a message on their phones, they can't see that. And even they cannot have WhatsApp open on the goggles. So they are fully immersed and nothing distracts them from the task. And that was something that all of them highlighted. So this fully immersed is really fully immersed. Okay. They said that they preferred the MetaQuest, the goggles, the high immersion, because you can interact in a more real way, more realistic. They highlighted that. And of course, they are also young people and they like having fun. So they highlighted the fact that it was really fun. And some of them will become teachers in the future. And they also thought about the potential for educational purposes. And they thought about not only communication purposes, but also educational purposes. They would use this definitely. We prepared, because in the first task, we weren't aware of that fact that much. But in the second task, what we did is we created a board where the task was there and the information was there. Because of course they are immersed and they cannot take a look at the printed version of the, of the task. So we created a board and they found that really useful. And the fact that we were together with them while they were doing this, they found Barry's help. Barry is a colleague of mine, Barry Pennock-Speck from the University of Valencia. And I was in class with the students and he was with the one doing the goggles somewhere else. And I'm nearly done because I only have a minute. I wasn't very confident with my English speaking skills, said one of the students, but he said that after just 5 minutes, he was concentrating on the task and on communicating, and he forgot about his, lack of self-confidence. And they all liked, 3D better than 2D and the MetaQuest. So I'm going to go around. Well, these are the challenges very quickly. The lack of content in some of the buildings they highlighted. They thought that the Dutch village was more pleasant visually than the Spanish one. Some had problems recording the screen, others didn't. That it was a bit difficult at first, but then they moved around easily. And they also highlighted the time they had to carry out the task. They told us, give us some time to learn about the goggles and then carry out the task, and don't count all of that in just, one task. Future as a teacher, etc. And just in conclusion, students have a very positive opinion of virtual reality in general, in both low and high immersion. It is a safe environment where they can experience authentic situated communication and real-life simulations. There are some challenges, of course. This is work in progress. But these are already being explored, and we believe that it's got a very good potential. And that would be all on our part. Thank you very much. So time for questions now, if you have any. Or someone online having any questions? They are not saying a word. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
How is this built?
How was the environment built was the question?
Yeah. There is a presentation on that right after, well, not right after this, a workshop where you're going to learn about that. But we have, is Nick here with us now? We have a very nice technician. He's preparing the workshop. Okay, he's preparing the workshop. We have a very nice technician, very good technician that constructed it. But I can tell you that you can also have a free account on FrameVR and you can create your own worlds. That colleague I mentioned before, Barry Pennock, he will be listening to us online. He created one. and he knows about new technologies, but he's not a technician, he's not an expert, he's a teacher, and he created one. So depending on your skills, you can create it yourself, but you can also access ours, and you can also access FrameVR. It's something you can use for free. In the workshop, they give you plenty of information, and you can also access our webpage, and there is a tab on this particular virtual world, and lots of videos on how to use it and how to start from creating an account to using FrameVR for educational purposes, whatever you need.
And within eLive, we have different environments, a French one, an English one, a German one, Spanish one, and we created the Dutch one lately. Yeah, the Babelland.
MetaQuest, is that also a specific space?
The MetaQuest is like the tool, like the goggles
It's the
that you
headset.
put on, the headset, okay? But the environment is the same. The same world, we can use it in 2D or 3D. That depends on us and the students. But for you to access the world in the 3D version, you need the goggles. You need the MetaQuest VR glasses. Yeah.
Is that software linked to the MetaQuest, or can you buy all the different goggles?
I imagine you can use different
It is
goggles.
a browser.
Yeah.
So you have a browser in all of the goggles, and then you write down the address of FrameVR, and then you are there. You will be teleported.
But they
and,
don't have to be MetaQuest. They could be other goggles. We use those because we thought about the different
When at a time we did
advantages.
some research,
Yeah.
and these were the best ones, let's say. So that's why we have the MetaQuest. We know that this is Facebook, and we all know
We
what
had some
happens with
concerns,
Facebook.
but
So we had some concerns, and in the past, you had to create first a Facebook account, and then were you allowed to use the goggles. And now it is not the case, so which is better. Yeah, but I have colleagues using Piccolo, I think Pico, and it should work as well. Yeah? Because all you need is a browser to enter the FrameVR environment.
Okay, maybe we have some online questions. No online questions. Okay, so if there are no more questions here, then I would like to thank you for this presentation. And
thank you.
of course,